there's a new movement. There's a new movement here. There's a new, what I call maybe the civil rights movement, but the Black Lives Matter movement. And this movement was created through young people, through their creative minds and their organizing, their new way of organizing through social media. They do this instantly. And so for them to come to the CBTU convention is a benefit to us because they can teach us so much about what we need to be doing to reach the new workforce.
I think that the history of CBTU has always been a history of activism. It's been a history of taking action where it's needed, both for the Black community and for the labor community.
CBTU, the role that we play is so important because without Mr. Moy and CBTU being there, labor wouldn't have even been a part of the Ferguson March in October. Go CBTU.
If there are folks in the community who are marching, I guarantee you there's someone there in labor right beside them. It is labor who normally gets things started, and the community jumps right in. You know what I mean? So I just think that where we're going with this is an opportunity to organize and so more folks can understand who we are, not only as CBTU, but the labor movement as a whole.
Our theme this year is about self-determination. It's time to lead and stop the cheerleading. That's what the folks in Baltimore meant when they brushed off national leaders and said, we got this. That's what leaders in the Black Lives Matter movement mean when they say we can affirm ourselves. Well, we too can affirm ourselves. We have to take responsibility for our own freedom. And you know, freedom ain't free. Somebody got to pay the price. Somebody got to be willing to stand up. Somebody got to be willing to take the hit. Somebody got to be willing to do what is just and what is right. And I'll be saying, CBTU will be the somebody that's not going to back up, that's not going to turn.
If we act, something's going to happen. We might get followed. We can be minorities with a majority vision. We can think bigger than our skin. What made Moses and Jesus and Mandela and Dr. King akin, well, they were all minorities with majority visions. We can look bigger than our predicament.
We've been praying a long time, but we got to do more than pray. We got to pray and organize at the same time.
Here in America, where we're the land of opportunities, these companies were making more and more money when we was in a recession, and the only thing McDonald's would say is $1. Like my brother said, our response is we're going to continue to organize. We're going to continue to organize, and if we don't get it, we're going to shut it down.
It's time for all of us to get together and work together and open up one gigantic can of whoop ass on anybody that stands in our way. Because brothers and sisters, it's union time. It's union time. It's union time. I love my union. How about you?
Every time we don't speak up, we lose the moral high ground. And more importantly, we lose our credibility. We lose our self-respect. We lose our respect for each other because we know what we're doing is wrong by being so quiet.
But it's gotta be young people who are under 40 who are able to both speak the language of the folks that are on the ground and speak the language of our labor leaders and our elders. But if we can come together, it's going to be powerful. And that is how we are going to be able to participate in Black Lives Matter. And that is how we are going to build a stronger coalition of Black trade unionists.
We had a mass incarceration training that they put on that was absolutely amazing. I feel like that's one of the things that we need to address more in our community, because sometimes when you don't know people who are in the prison system or who've never been arrested, you don't understand the laws and the regulations that they're trying to put on us in order, to keep our people confined.
So it's a profound issue that impacts our entire community in terms of family structure, access to jobs, the ability to vote. So it's an issue that is really galvanizing, particularly young activists, to come together. But this convention speaks to this topic, but also other issues that are important in terms of education and healthcare, understanding racism. So I think there's a wealth of discussion and knowledge and networking opportunities that really would be of value for young people to come together.
Nowadays, there's so many young people who want to strike out on their own that activism is very alive, but I think their power can be harnessed by a union. So I still think there's strength in numbers, personally.
But I had been told that I should not join CBTU because they were a bunch of radicals. Folk wasn't lying when they said it was a bunch of radicals, because the first thing Bill Lucy said to me is, we're going to have this here meeting where they can't tell us who we going to support in an election.
The Women's Luncheon was really established around Addie Wyatt and her leadership, and we're here in Chicago. And Addie Wyatt was a leader of not just the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, not just around the labor movement, not just around the women's movement, but around the civil rights movement.
I know many in the labor movement, even sisters, women, do not know about Addie Wyatt. So we did a theatrical presentation to speak about her life and how she contributed.
I'm honored to get the award, but I just feel like you shouldn't get awards for stuff that you should be doing anyway. I just wish all of us would step up and do those things.
Public policy, we want you to jump into these fights where you see them in your states, and we want you to get your stories to us so that we can share them and make them part of our movement. We want you to join coalitions where they're happening, and if they're not happening in your state, in your city, in your county, build a coalition for change, because families desperately need this change.
When black women organize other black women, that their union election win rate is 90% compared to 40% for white men.
If you had the chance to have a conversation with your daddy, you know, what would you say to him about you today?
History matters because they understood that to destroy our community, that first they had to destroy black men.
The reason why I chose the 3 subjects, parenting skills, life skills, and felony street law, is because I believe you can't have one without the other. You can't teach a man without how to be a father or a dad without talking to him about employment and how to be presentable, how to shake hands, how to talk, how to walk, right? And you can't teach them how to gain employment without not teaching them how to avoid the criminal justice system.
You can't come to nobody and explain, want them to change or do anything if they don't have opportunity. If we lack opportunity in our communities and education at the same time, then the negative stuff, that's what we're going to grasp to, because that's what we see.
Just a few minutes ago, he was acquitted. Now, you want to know why we do the work that we do. Black lives matter. All lives matter. But we've got to stand up as the coalition of black trade unionists. We cannot back down. We got to stand up like never before. It is not enough for us just to come here and talk, but we got to go back in our neighborhoods and we've got to stand up for our brothers and our sisters, and we've got to let them know that we're not gonna take it anymore. We're gonna stand up and we're gonna fight back, and we're gonna take back our communities. Black lives matter just like every other life in this world matters. We matter.